Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsea. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make this card, you can visit my online store, and the link is in the description box below. Today, I'd like to share with you this fun card that uses a really cool technique where you can color the white embossing powder. And I'm also going to share with you my customer appreciation products for June 2021. And these are the products that I've used on the card today. So when you purchase from me through my online store, I give out customer appreciation products as a thank you for purchasing from me. And there are 3 different levels. The first level is when your order hits $50 or more, you're going to receive the Rhinestone's Basic Jewels. And these are just really fun jewels. There's a lot of fun things you can do with them. And I've used them on my card today, just as they are. But I will also show you some fun things you can do with them later in the video. When you purchase $100 from me, you're going to receive this fun, simply elegant trim, and it comes in both a silver and a gold, and you're also going to get the Rhinestone's Basic Jewels. So you'll get both of those when you purchase $100 from me. Now, when you purchase $150, you're going to also receive the stamp set Queen Anne's Lace. And this is a really fun stamp set. One of the things I love about it are all the great greetings. I like that there are sympathy greetings as well as birthday, wedding, thank you, friend. Lots of options when it comes to this stamp set. And you can use this beautiful flower imagery many different ways. Lots of techniques can be used with it, and it does also have a 2-step stamp on top that kind of gives a fill-in color for those little flowers. So today I wanted to share with you this fun tinted embossing technique where you can color over the white embossing powder and it just creates this really fun, unique look. I also think that I don't have enough sympathy cards, and so today's card is a sympathy card, and I've also stamped the second part of the greeting on the inside of the card. So it says, "I know you have the strength to get through this, and I'll be right by your side." Now this card can also be used as a wedding card, and all you would need to do is switch out the greeting to best wishes. And I think that the imagery and the colors go really well for that as well. So to start our technique, we're going to need to do some heat embossing on this black scalloped cardstock. And the scallop die is from the Scalloped Contours dies, which is a new stamp set in the 2021-2022 annual catalog. And it just comes with lots of different scalloped rectangle options, and then it also coordinates with a stamp set. So you can check that out. I always list everything that I've used on my cards in the description below. So I'm also using some Whisper White ink, and that's going to hold on to the white embossing powder so that we can do a nice heat emboss. So I'm just inking up my image, and I'm going to use an embossing buddy just to remove a little bit of fingerprints or static so that the embossing powder doesn't stick to it. So I'm just going to stamp this image twice, one a little low, and then a second one up a little higher. Then we're going to add it to some white embossing powder. Tap off the excess, and then we're going to heat this with our heat tool. So you will know when your heat emboss is all done because it gets shiny and it all melts together and it creates this really beautiful image. So for this technique, you're going to need some Stampin' Blend alcohol markers. And I am using the dark pale papaya, the light flirty flamingo, and the light mossy meadow. So for this technique, you're also going to need to make sure that you have heat embossed on dark cardstock. And I like to do it with black because what you're going to do is you're taking your alcohol markers and you're actually coloring over that white embossed, and it changes the color. And if you did this on light cardstock, then you would also see the marking off of the white embossing powder. But because we're working on black cardstock, you won't see any of those extra markings, and only what you do on the white embossing powder. So you're just going to go in here and change the color of this embossing powder to whichever colors you want. So I'm starting with the stems, and I will do all the stems the same color. Okay, so now you can see that beautiful green in the stems. And now I'm going to take my other colors and I'm just going to color in the flowers. And I'm just bringing the Flirty Flamingo and just kind of adding that to those flowers on this one on the left. And then I'll do the Pale Papaya to the flowers on the right. Okay, so now we're all done. We've got some beautiful Flirty Flamingo and Pale Papaya Queen Anne's lace flowers. So I have a card base of Smoky Slate, and I'm going to go ahead and fold that in half and then use a bone folder to make a nice crease. And on the inside, I am going to stamp the rest of this sentiment with another images of these flowers. So I've got my white craft ink, and I'm going to add a little embossing buddy to that corner down there and stamp this right along that edge. And then I have the rest of the greeting, and I'm just inking that up, and I'm going to stamp that right here next to the flowers. And then I'll take all of that and place it into the white embossing powder, tap it off, and then heat that up. I love heat embossing and the look that it can give to your cards. It's just really elegant. So make sure that is not sticky before you close your card. So some of the other elements that I'm using for the front of the card is some of this Golden Garden Designer Specialty Acetate. And on one side is gold and the other side is silver. And I really liked that that just gave a really nice subtle elegance to the card. And then just to add a little texture, I'm using this Smoky Slate textured ribbon, and it's 7/8 of an inch, so it's pretty wide. It's almost a full inch. And I'm going to take that ribbon and I'm going to add it to the edge of this acetate here. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure probably about 5, maybe 6 inches of ribbon. I'm going to take some tear and tape and I'm going to add that to the edge of the acetate. And it's not to the full edge. I am leaving it, just about half of the tear and tape is on the edge there. So now I'm going to remove the paper and I'm going to add the ribbon over the tear and tape. And then this technique is going to give us a nice clean edge at the top and bottom without having to wrap the ribbon into the inside of the card. And so by flipping the ribbon over, I'm now going to add a little more of this tear and tape to the inside of the ribbon, just at the edge of that acetate. Once I've removed the paper, then I'm folding that ribbon so that it lines up with the other edges and is nice and flat, and it has a straight line going from the acetate to the ribbon. And then we'll just repeat that on the other side. And if you need to do any trimming, you can always lift this up a little bit and trim off any ribbon that might be showing on the other side. So you get this really nice, clean ribbon look that's just going to give you that little extra texture that we're looking for behind our main element. Okay, so I've got glue dots in the corners, and again, a little bit of adhesive there on the between the ribbon and the acetate, and I'm just going to add this to my card. Now I've cut it just so that it's slightly smaller in height than the card base. So it's going to have just a very thin border around that. And you can see how nice that ribbon looks on there as well. So then this piece is added with dimensionals. And is placed right in the center. I have already stamped and heat embossed the greeting in white embossing powder. And I do want to just give a little tip that because I used Embossing Buddy, there's a little bit of a chalky surface to my black cardstock. So then I have a damp paper towel that I'm just going to go ahead and run over the cardstock. And I'm going to do that with this main piece too, just to remove any of that little chalky haze that can happen to black cardstock. And it really brightens it up. So then I'm going to take the greeting and I'm going to fussy cut this out. All right, so that's all cut out. And so now we can add the Simply Elegant trim in silver to the back. And I'm just going to cut about 8 inches of that trim. I'm going to match the ends, and I've added adhesive to the back already. And that's going to go right there in the center. And then you just wrap each side back to the center to create a faux bow behind the greeting. And then we'll add this to the card with some dimensionals. I do like to add the dimensionals over the trim if possible to hold everything in place. And then this just gets placed in the bottom left corner. So the last thing we're going to use are these Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And you can use them just as they are, like I did here in the first card, or you can color them. And they're very easy to color with the Stampin Blend Markers. And all you have to do is take the marker and then just add it over the top, and it will just tint it slightly that color that you're adding. So here I'm adding the light Flirty Flamingo, and it just tints it as really pretty light pink color. Then with your Take a Pick tool, you can add those rhinestones to your card. And your card is all done. I hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun card today. If you're interested in getting more information on this card, such as written instructions, a list of products I've used, and close-up images, you can visit my blog, creativechelsea.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.